Hello and welcome to another episode of Bibles and Bows. I am your host, Ben, with Sodak Horizon. Today, we are going to be talking about community and how that translates from your hunting camp to your walk with the Lord. So, before we get too far into this, I want you to visualize something for me. I want you to imagine that you're in your tree stand. It's the middle of November, the rut is on. You got your mock scrapes done. You've been hitting big mature bucks on trail cam, daylighting. You're in the right spot. All of a sudden, you hear the footsteps. You know what I mean? And you see one of the shooters on your list walking by. Range him 22 yards. He's not in a hurry. He's just kind of tiredly meandering along right in front of your stand, 22 yards. Pull your bow back. You set your pin first, obviously. Pull your bow back, anchor, thumb on the trigger. Grip's perfect. You're staring right down at him. You shot over its back. He heard you. He ducked the string. You missed. Who's the first person you call? If you're like me, it's one of two people, your wife or your dad. And then you have a long list of friends that you'll text sometime that night to tell them the disappointment, right? That's the way I do it. But you always have that person that you call when something goes wrong. Now, rewind. Same scenario. Big mature buck, your shooter, 22 yards away, and you smoke him. I mean, pump house, girls covered in blood, spewing out both sides. You watch him run maybe 20 yards away and fall over dead. Who's the first person you call? For me, it's the same. Either my wife or my dad, usually in that order. That's my community. Now, when I shoot something, I have a much longer list of people I call. When I miss something, most of them get a text because I don't want to deal with the shame and embarrassment, right? But that's your community. That is your hunting community. That is, a group of guys. Hunting camp used to be a group of guys would go out into the woods, get a cabin, and they would hunt opening weekend or a weekend in the middle of deer season. And they would spend time together. They would talk about old stories. They would talk about what happened during the day. It wasn't so much texting as it is now. But nowadays, that's a community, right? I have a bunch of buddies on group chat that we text all day back and forth, different things that are going on in our lives, different successes, failures, stuff like that. But that's my community. Those are the people that I call, that I text when something goes really right or something goes really wrong. The same thing goes for your walk with the Lord. You want to have people in your corner that you can call when you're struggling, when you succeed in something, when you've accomplished something, when you have questions about something. You want people in your corner that you can call or text to ask those questions to confide in. You want that around you. You want that constantly around you. That is so important with your walk with Christ. Not even for new Christians. I've been a Christian for a while, right? I still have a community of people that I surround myself with that I can call if I have questions, that I can talk things out that don't make sense to me. Maybe it's as simple as you're just tired and you need to pick me up. I still have those people in my corner. I have tons of people in my corner like that. We're going to dive right into the Bible right now. Hebrews 10, 24 through 25. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as in the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day draw near. So, right there in Hebrews, Paul is telling us a couple things. One, we need to learn to stir up each other in love and in good works. Two, we need to meet together in person. And three, we need to encourage one another. Those are three huge takeaways from two verses in the Bible, right? It is so important for us to be in community. So important that Jesus himself was in community. Jesus had a close group of friends, the disciples or the apostles. Excuse me. Jesus had a close group of friends, the disciples, later known as the apostles, that he spent a ton of time with, that he answered questions to, that he asked questions to, right? Knowing the answer, but He thought it was so important to have a community. Why do I think that I don't need one? Right. Now, that's not saying that you should not spend time in prayer and in your Bible and learning on your own. That's also super important. That is a necessity to grow to Christ. You have to have those things too. But community is one of those pillars. Time in your Bible, time in prayer, time in community. Those three things will help you grow so close to Christ. It's insane. First Corinthians says kind of the same thing. First Corinthians 12:26. If one member suffers, all suffer together. If one member is honored, all rejoice together. So if that doesn't scream hunting camp, I don't know what does, right? We had a big antelope camp last year. Me and three of my buddies, three of my really, really close friends. We decided to go out west and have an antelope camp. We pitched a tent, we had cots. I think it was 3 days, maybe 4 days, that we were there with each other the entire time. Out of the four of us, only one filled a tag, and we were all right there to celebrate with him. Out of the four of us, two of us had opportunities that were great opportunities that should have been tags filled that did not work out. We were all there to support us. I was one that did not fill a tag, just so we're clear. I missed a shot. Long story short, I ranged him at 55. He ran parallel to us. I assumed he ran out further, so I aimed closer to 65, and I jumped an arrow right off his back. Completely unharmed. I watched him run very, very far, very, very well, unharmed, no blood, no nothing. And I had a group of friends that were right there to pat me on the back and say, "You'll get him next time, pal," and then continue to give me crap the rest of the weekend. Anyways, besides the point, you have to have a community. In hunting, it's really helpful if you shoot a deer and you need help tracking. If you shoot an elk and you need help packing, those are the practical uses for your community in the hunting space. Maybe you're a new archer and you need help sighting your bow in. Maybe you need help picking broadheads out. Maybe you need help broadhead tuning. There's so many applications to where a good hunting community is beneficial for you in archery. There are more applications for a community to be helping you in your walk with Christ. I don't know how many days that I'm just at a low point. For whatever reason, the enemy's fighting. The enemy's just beating me down. And I'll have a buddy just randomly text me a Bible verse, and I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I needed. That is exactly what I needed at that time. God knew that that was what I needed. And actually, in Galatians 6:2, Galatians 6:2, it says, bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. So the community isn't just there for cool pick-me-ups. They're there to help you with what you're struggling with. They're there to bear your burdens. So if you're struggling, for example, my struggle was drinking. I had a really big problem with drinking, and my wife, who was my community at the time, was amazing. She was so good at helping me walk away from that. And to this, we don't drink today. Now I have built a community of people to surround myself with that feel the same way. We don't drink to have a good time. We don't drink to celebrate. Nothing wrong with it. We just don't drink because I struggled with that in the past. So now the community that I have is willing to carry that burden with me, right? It's so important to have a community, guys. It really is. Here in Matthew 11:28, Jesus himself says, come to me, all who are labor and who, I'm sorry, let me start over. I messed that up. Matthew 11:28, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So right there, Jesus is saying, come to me and I will take your burdens. I will help you carry your struggles, however far you need them to go. Lay them at the cross, lay them at the feet of Jesus, and let Jesus help you. Let your community help you. Now, there's three huge pillars that I believe will help you grow closer to Christ: community, prayer, and reading your Bible. One of them alone will help. Two of them will help. Three of them, you're going to be very, very well off if you can get those three pillars. And it's very easy to do. Your local church, I guarantee, has a community of people that are like-minded like you are, that are into bow hunting, that are into hunting. Maybe not bow hunting, but hunting in general. I'm sure you have friends that are into reading their Bible in prayer, that maybe that conversation hasn't been brought up yet. Maybe that's something that you need to take a step of faith on and do. Maybe it's a whole bunch of dudes on the internet. I've met so many cool people on the internet. Message me. Message me if you don't know where to find a community, message me and I will get you linked into a community of right now I have a community of guys that are from Idaho, within I shouldn't say. They're not super far away. There's 3 or 4 of us that are within about an hour of each other. And then we have a couple guys, some from Arkansas, some from Idaho. We have some that have moved to South Dakota from other places that are fitting in with us. So the community doesn't have to be people that are your next door neighbors. Get online, find a community, join our community. Be in community with like-minded believers that can help you with your burdens and that can help you with your struggles. Because when you're on the mountaintops, you don't feel like you need help. Everything's going good, smooth sailing, everything's going right, everything's great. You don't feel like you need help. But as soon as you take that step downwards, it's generally not a slow descent. It's generally pretty quick. And that is where your community can gather around you and either take some of the weight off or help you down slowly. I'm not saying that your community is going to make everything peachy again, but having a community to surround you when you're falling makes the fall a little bit easier. And sometimes they help you get back to the mountaintop. Who knows? Who knows what God has in store for you? But community is so important, guys. And I do believe that church community is important too. I'm not saying you can't find church other places. I find church from September 1st. Actually, lately, it's been from the 3rd weekend in August, because that's antelope hunting, till the last weekend in December. From August this year, I think it's 18th, till January 1, I'm in church as much as I can be, because I find Jesus in the woods, like I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. But you need to have people to surround you, to ask questions to have conversations about things you don't understand. There is so much in the Bible that I don't understand. I'm learning new things every day, and I guarantee you that if you talk to any of the top biblical scholars, they would say the same thing. The Bible is not a one and done read. Okay, it's not something that you can read once and fully understand everything in it, because that's not how it's intended. The Bible is what you need when you need it, when you need it, right? So if you're not constantly in the Bible, you're not going to feel encouraged by it as much as you should. And that's where your community can help, right? Now, the community that I'm in, we focus on a few different things: faith, fitness, family, and the outdoors. I wouldn't say in that order. I'd probably say faith, family, fitness, and the outdoors. And I would even probably say the outdoors and then fitness, because I'm not a super fit guy, if you can't tell. But it's something I'm working on. I struggle with fitness. I've had 3 kids, and I have a 4th on the way. And I have some past injuries that have kept me from getting to my peak physical condition. But I have a group of guys that call me out on it. Hey, does your back really hurt? Or are you just being lazy today? Okay. I think we answered that question. Hey, how's your nutrition going? You know, you lose weight in the kitchen more than you lose weight in the gym. How are you eating? Is that maybe a problem for you? Absolutely. Yep. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Good call. Good call. So I have a group of people that are willing to call me out on things that I struggle with. And if they were not there to call me out, I would never change, because who's going to call me out if not for my community? And that's my version of hunting camp. Like I said, we text literally almost every day. We talk about wins, we talk about loses, we talk about challenges, we talk about things that we need prayer for. Have other people praying for you. You know how much of a blessing it is to have a group of people pray for you? It is such a blessing, guys. And that is what community can bring you. So, like I said, if you don't have a community, find one. If you need one, message me and I will make sure you get into a community. Nothing would make me happier than to see you get into a community. So that's all we got for tonight, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please shoot me a message. If you have any prayer requests, I would love to pray for you. Shoot me a message, DM me on whatever platform you can find me on. I would love to pray for you. I'd love to pray with you. I'd love to introduce you to the Jesus that saved me, and I'd love to bring you to a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, because Jesus changed my life. There's no other way to put it. And I would love to see him do the same things for you that he did for me. So don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you can hear when these things drop. It is the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of every month. For now, I will be dropping these. Yeah, shoot me a message if you have any questions, if you need prayer, whatever the case may be, guys. Shoot me a message. I'd love to pray for you. Otherwise, stay safe, shoot straight. God bless. Have a great season. We'll see you next time.